Hi, everyone. Good morning. Okay, so this is the third series of the office hours for the live question and answer for Foyr Neo. Um, Magda, can you switch the screen? I'm sorry.
Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Wait.
So for this third session, it's actually a continuation to discuss the create new product. Um, so far, how was the last session that we had for the create new product? Before we start, do we have any questions? You guys can start asking us already so that we can start this session completely. You can unmute yourself if you wanted to ask those questions. Please go ahead. Carrie, you can't hear us. Okay, that would be great.
Hi, everyone. We decided that in this session, we'll focus more on your questions and problems that you might be having with the Create New Product tool or ceiling designs. As we mentioned, the Create New Products in last session. So if you have any problems or any questions regarding that, just ask away.
Or any clarifications for that matter so that we could go ahead and answer them for you.
Monica, how do you use the tiles in the catalog list so you don't have to stack each individual tile by tile? So for the tiles, you can use the edit for like you can change the number of tiles or you can edit texture size. If by the texture size is if you know a size of a single tile, then you can put it into the texture size and then you will receive the same effect as you will in a physical space. Some tiles, they will be, like they will go row by row. And unfortunately, there's there's nothing that you can do about it in the settings, but create new product might come useful. I'll just share my screen. I'll share another screen and I'll show you what I mean. So for example, like we have a room. And now we go to 3D and we can apply some tiles on the wall. So if we go to textures and tile, then as you can see, some tiles, for example, this one, the subway texture, like they're already laid out. So you can either change the number of tiles and just edit it up to a point where you will be satisfied with it. Or you can go through texture size and put a size of a single tile. So for example, say that they are 0.6 by 0.3. And then you will get the same effects that you will have in a physical space. You can do horizontal offsets. You can also do vertical offsets if you want to offset them. And you can also rotate the texture so it can go either horizontally or vertically. With other kinds of tiles, for example, if you will have like a texture, either if you will upload a texture and you will apply it and it won't, like it will go into tiles, but these tiles, they will be set row by row. I'm just trying to just find the texture to show you. It's the same with some marble textures. Some of them, they will go in, like you can edit the marble. Some of them, they will like go into tile texture. Let's try this one. If you can actually edit it, or it will go into tiles. Yeah, so for example, this one here, it will go into tiles, but they will go one under another and one next to each other. So like that's we can see that more and more now, like where you put tires only vertically or horizontally and they're just under each other. But if you want to achieve different kind of texture, I will try to show you an example of what I did. Then you can create a pattern with the create new product tool, and then you can stick on your tiles. So if you just let me, I'll show you an example, and then I'll show you how to do it to create like a pattern for your tiles. We'll just wait until it will load. Okay. So as you can see in this bathroom, like it's a small bathroom, but I wanted to use the marble textured tiles. And I wanted it to look as realistic as it can be. So I just created this pattern with the create new product tool. And then I applied the texture that I uploaded. So if I will just go back, I'll just see if so. I'm sorry, I think there's something wrong with the internet and it just keeps on. It's the same way to do it. It doesn't matter if it's uploaded texture or if there are tiles from the catalog. In like, in some of them, if you will drop the texture, like if you will drop tiles, like for example, these ones, then unfortunately, like you won't be able to change the pattern. So the pattern will be as it is. But for example, if you like the color of the tile, you can try to find it online and just upload it here as a texture and then create your own pattern. So to create your own pattern, you will go to the Create New Product tool, create yourself, and start with the rectangle. Now draw a rectangle on the wall the size of where you want to put your tiles. So for example, if you want to put them on a full wall here. And now with the rectangle tool, you will create a pattern. So you will have a size of a single tile, and you will just simply create a pattern with the rectangles. So let's say that we have like a large tiles. So they will be 0.6. So we have one, and then we can go from the middle. And again, big one here. And you will just create a pattern like that on your full wall. Now you can use the offset to, like it will look like there's grout in between your tiles. So for example, like we'll do like a tiny, tiny offset. And now when you click on done, and we will go to textures, I will go to my uploaded ones. And I will show you on the same tiles that I did. Okay, so like I have, it's pretty much the same tile, it's just like a different patterns on it. So what I did, I used both of them. So for example, like I used the one here, and then I used the other one here. And every time I was putting them, I was rotating them and I was offsetting them horizontally and vertically. So each tile looked different. So there were no two tiles that were looking the same. So by this, you can achieve very realistic result. Was that clear?
How do you complete that whole wall though?
Or you will have to draw rectangle by rectangle, as I did in here. So you just simply, you will be just drawing tile by tile, tile by tile, and then you will drop your texture inside these rectangles.
But how about if it's a tiny tile, like the long skinny ones?
Yeah, well, if it's a tiny, then you can draw a few, and then you can copy that and try to paste it next to each other, because that will be more complicated with the tiny tiles.
You mean that you would group a couple of them, like group 4 or 6 of them, and then just repeat, repeat, repeat?
Yeah,
Yes,
or you
that
can
is right.
actually create like a few with create new product tool, and then clone that.
Okay. Who was that? Emily, is that right? Yes, you would need to create them or you would need to group them one by one. And then once that you already have the pattern, upon grouping, then that's a time that you have to clone it so that you could actually paste it on the other walls. Wait, let me just share you my screen.
Thanks, that's helpful. And I think I might have missed it on this one, but did you make the tile like a little, you pulled it out a little bit to give it a little bit of thickness, right?
Depth. Uh-huh. Yeah, she did.
Okay.
Do you mean pulled out by push and pull?
Yes, you
Yeah.
can give the depth
How you
if you need to. Like, it all depends. If you only do them on one wall, then you can just leave it flat because, like, it won't have any impact visually. But if you will be doing them on the side, and like here I have a shower screen, so I didn't need it, for the edge to be shown. But you can use the push and pull to push it back. But you will have to do that before you will start creating the tile texture. So as soon as you will have the rectangle, the full rectangle, then you will use the push and pull to pull it out, and then you will create your pattern.
And would
Because
you just
otherwise you will have to put them.
pull out a teeny bit, sorry, or do you kind of like, because a tile is actually sort of more, I would say, like beveled. Do you offset a teeny bit and then pull out the offset part, the middle part, or do you just pull out the whole thing?
No, I just pull out the whole thing.
Okay, and that just makes it look more realistic. And when you do like the
The texture.
you render it, it's gonna look better.
Yes, yeah, I can show you the render.
Yes.
I can show you the finished render. Like, all the textures in 3D, they will look blurry, but when you do the render, they will be perfectly fine. Some of them, they might they might look really, really blurry, and then when you do the render, they will show up nicely. So like, for example, this one. Yeah. So as you can see, they're not blurry.
Yeah. Yep, looks good. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So basically, Magda, you're saying that we have to put the tile on individually, really.
Well, yeah, if you want to achieve as realistic result as you want to, then you will have to create tile by tile. Like you could do like one row and then clone it and paste it under each other.
Oh, okay.
That will
Okay.
be, yeah, if that will be
That'll be
easy.
easier because to line up all of them is very hard.
Yes, yeah, that's why
Yeah.
like I was using big tiles for this project, so I did the full wall. It was a small bathroom, so
Yeah.
it didn't take me much time, but it will be more difficult with with like a mosaic tiles or like a
Yeah.
small tiles, even like a
Yeah.
subway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was finding. I was like, seriously, do I have to do this all? But I guess they have to. But how do you upload one of your own textures or tiles that you've chosen for a project onto the um
Well, you will just go to texture, and from
yeah,
here you have upload texture. So it needs to be in PNG or JPEG file format. So you can just upload it from any website, and
yeah,
then you will just click on upload now, and it will show in uploaded. You can get access to them at any point on any project, because you can go here to all projects and choose from which projects you want to retrieve your uploaded textures.
yeah. I mine is not saving anything that I've done.
Well, if it's uploaded, then it needs to be saved, because as soon as you will upload it, it will be there. When
Okay,
you go to upload it category and see if you have any, but just be like, if you go to upload it, then don't go with the current projects, go to all projects and click on select all, and then it will show you all the textures that you uploaded.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
I'll
it
try.
might be the case that you didn't upload any on the current project. That's why it won't show you any.
Okay. So you have to take it from an existing website. You don't take a screenshot and then
No, you
upload
can
it.
take a screenshot. If did you know if that will be easier for you, then you can take a screenshot if it will be very if it will be a good quality screenshot.
Otherwise, if you take it from a website, what you download there, if they
Yes.
allow it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time, you just click on the image, and then you have an option to save image as. So you will just name it, and then you will just save it in your files.
Okay, I'm just seeing. So it should be in my library, right?
No, in textures.
In textures, where would
Yeah,
it be? All the way
textures
down?
and upload it.
Yeah, if I go to upload it, okay, there is one. Yeah. And the current project.
Okay, and select all projects.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I see that. Okay.
Are they there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. I think textures are the most problematic ones. Like, sometimes if you will upload texture, the texture might not show. I had problems like that. It was just like even though I saved it as a JPEG, I think it was just like a different kind of file and it didn't show. So when you go to render, always do the preview. Instead of wasting your rendering credits, do the preview and see if the texture will show. If not, then if you need the same texture, try to retrieve it from a different website. The last time that I tried, like I think I tried 3 different websites, but I finally, found it and it was working great.
If I could just say something else on texture, one problem I've had sometimes is it looks like I put the texture there. Say I dropped a rug in from the catalog. I took a screenshot of the rug that I want. I put that in there. It looks like it's there. Yeah. And then when I go to render it, it shows up as the original rug. And that's happened a few times with textures. And the fix for it was selecting a different texture just from Foyr's catalog first. So like take the rug, make it red or something, then put your image on it. And then my image showed up. So I've had that problem a couple of
Yes.
times.
Yeah, that might help as well. Try to change texture and then upload yours on top of it. Yeah. But if it still won't show, then just try to upload it from a different website. You can copy the pattern, but like you need to do a few of them first, or like or just do one and then copy and like put it next to each other. But in create new product tool, you can't copy the pattern. So you have to do it first, click on done, go to 3D, and then you can clone it.
Okay.
Oh, Emily is asking if she can share a screen. She would love to ask a question and that's on topic about wall design and molding.
Yeah, could I do that real quick? It might just be helpful so I could show my project, and I think the question might apply to other people too.
Noemi, can Emily share her
Oh,
screen?
yeah, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Okay, I will be quick here. If I can find the screen that I want. I'm sorry, I have a trillion screens open and now I can't find it. Basically my question is, I had a project recently where I tried to, it was just kind of a plain white wall. There were lots of different elevations in the ceiling. I figured that out, how to make that, like mostly using like a ceiling docked cube. But a thing that gave
Yeah.
me trouble is the putting like moldings on the wall. I tried to create like a cool kind of, French style wall moldings, and I used a
Yeah.
prepared one, and it was just really tricky to line up. It didn't look that great, and it didn't show up in the rendering like at all. So
Did you check if they didn't go too high? Like, because you applied the ceiling docked cube, they might have gone and actually
Side.
stuck into your existing ceiling.
and then that wouldn't show up. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You might
Okay.
try that. Then if you want to align them, then the best way for moldings is to go by edit. So if we'll go here.
Sorry, I'm giving up on sharing my screen. I can't have so many screens open.
That's
So-
fine.
No worries. When you place anything on the wall or on the ceiling and click on it, click on free movement and go to edit. And why this will be your position from the floor up to the start of the product. So if you want them all to be aligned, then make sure that Y is on the same height.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so then they will be all aligned. The same when you're using moldings, we have the corner pieces, but when you use the corner pieces and then you will use the straight piece, then after rendering, you might actually see the connection. So
Yeah.
what I always do, I just use the straight pieces and I will just put them a bit one into each other. So they will give you like a nice angle, nice edge, and you won't see any any like connections between them.
Okay,
Do
and there's not just a line tool that I'm not aware of, is there, where you can click on two objects and just hit like line these up? Or do you
you can
have to use the ruler or something for that?
you can use the guidelines. So they will like, they will snap within the guidelines. Or as I mentioned before, you can to align them, you can use the position and use the Y to align them. We have a question here. I like to see the process of trying to create a ceiling of different heights and adding molding and crown molding. Yeah, so for the ceiling of different heights, I always recommend to go to catalog and see what kind of ceiling designs we have there. Because like you can modify them a bit, you can change the textures of them, you can change the color of lighting. So you can see what's in there and try to use them. It will save you time. But if you need to create your own ceiling, then you can do it by using the shapes, or you can do it with the create new product tool. So to create different height of ceilings, then you will just use the push and pull tool and offset tool. So for example, where do I have this one here? So for example, you can double click on your ceiling, so it will go upside down. And now with the create new product, again, you will trace over your ceiling. Well, if it doesn't have to be like the full size, then you will do it smaller. Now we'll give it some height, like some
Sorry,
depth.
what did you do to turn it upside down?
Oh, double click on the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah, you just double click on a ceiling. And now you can use the offset and then push and pull. So let's say that we'll have like, something like that. And then we can add lights. And then we can go in the middle and add the rows in the middle. And now we will just use the push and pull. So we can either go from this one to be sticking out more, and then this one a bit more, and then this one, or you can do it the other way around. And now you can, if we'll click on done, now we can paste moldings outside, like around. You can paste the crown molding in like the rows in the middle. And if you want to add lights, then you can either add LED lights here. So if you go to catalog, we have like a LED strip lights, different colors. So you can choose whichever. So you can simply paste them and resize them. Or you can try to use textures. And just upload light as a texture. And that should illuminate light as well. So we'll just zoom in. And on the edge, you can, instead of putting the LED lights, you can just apply the light texture.
I don't have the push and pull. How does that come up?
Oh, you need to be on the create new product tool. So if I go to modify, then you have it here. That's the push and pull. With push and pull, you can give it depth and you can also create cavities.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the part that you're working with, it will highlight. So whichever part you want to work with, just go to it so it highlights and then you can work with it.
So that only comes up when you're saying when you're editing.
No, when you're in create new product tool and you're
Oh.
creating, then you can, like, for example, if you will create something and then you want to make some changes to it, then you can still click on it and you can click on modify and then you can, like, work with it again.
No, but if you're doing a
Yeah.
ceiling and you're using it from the catalog, you're not creating a new product, right?
No. So then to change the depth, you can just resize it. But you will resize it as a full product, so you won't be able to resize parts of it. You will resize like a full product.
Oh.
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean, like now when you've got the little different squares, you can push and pull each different square. But if this was
Yes.
from the catalog, that wouldn't happen.
Yes.
That is right. We cannot edit the ones that is inside the catalog.
Like
Oh,
if I clicked on done now, so for example, that's already made product. So you will have to just go to resize and then you can resize it like that. So you will
that,
change.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes. But if you're creating it with the create new product, then you can modify it. And with each part that you're creating, whether that's a circular shape, square shape, rectangle, then you can work with it individually with the
Okay.
create new product.
I could clarify to the speaker too, like this came in handy. I was putting a sofa in a project this week. I used one from the catalog and I could resize it a little bit, but like you had the whole thing resized. So I made it a little bit larger, but then the whole thing got larger. It was an L-shaped sofa and I just wanted to pull one end and make one end larger, but the whole thing when you resize gets larger. So that's kind of a difference between creating new product. I suppose I could have built a sofa, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but you see, like if you will build the sofa with the create new product, like it won't look as realistic and soft.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. But unfortunately, yeah, when you're resizing it, it resizes as full. So if you want to pull out the, like, the corner part, then your whole seat will go wider in depth as well.
Oh, I thought you could put in the dimension of the sofa. You could put in the width and the depth and the height. You could
Yes, you
change
can.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. You can do that, yeah. It's just like, when you have a corner sofa, you're not able to pull out the corner part, if you know
Okay.
what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, for
Yeah.
example, if you have like a chaise longue at the
Yeah.
end, then you're not able to make it longer.
Okay.
Yeah, because you will have to you will have to resize the full sofa. So the rest of the sofa will go like the depth of the sofa will change as well, not only the chaise longue.
Like some products, that's fine for resizing. Like I dropped a dining room table in and I knew exactly that, I needed that dining room table to be 8 feet long. I could exactly do that. And the product looked really good. It's just like when something was kind of not just a perfect rectangle, a weird shape. Yeah, you create you change the depth and the width of it too.
Yes.
I'm just pointing out because that's sometimes a better thing to use create new product for, I found. Yeah, you can't really create a new sofa, but like a bar countertop, an L-shaped counter or something like that. Sometimes it's better just to
Yeah.
build it from scratch rather than
Yes.
use one. So you can get the dimensions perfect.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
so when you did the ceiling and you created new product, what do? You're just choosing these different squares from where?
No, I created them. So
Oh,
I just
okay.
use the
So you draw
offset.
them out.
Yes, I draw them out, then I actually draw one and then I just use the offset to create the rest. And then I use the push and pull to either push them in or pull them out. And now when you click on done, you can apply different textures on them. And if you think that it might be useful for you, you might reuse it in your future projects. You can click on it and you can add it into your library.
Something that would be helpful for me to understand is, let's say you were doing this ceiling as a coffered ceiling, and you want to, align a number before you do your push pull. You want to align a number of squares across the ceiling and down the ceiling, and you want to easily get them all the same size and they're all aligned and spaced evenly. What's an effective way to do that?
Like, and then you can push them like out and they can be like a different height.
Yeah, so imagine a coffered ceiling where you would have beams that all you would you would align all of your squares on the flat surface, and then you would click basically the space in between to pull that out in order to be a coffered ceiling. The first step of getting all the squares the same size and all aligned quickly, um, rather than having to go into each individual one and type in the offset so that they're aligned, is there a fast way to create all of those squares on the ceiling, get them all evenly spaced, um, before you do your push-pull to create the grid for the coffered ceiling?
Offered ceiling. Well, you can create one, for example, and then let's say that paste it next to each other, so you will get a row, group them, and clone them, and then paste them like under. Because unfortunately, there's no other way. You can either create one by one, or you can like create one, do the offset and push and pull straight away. So you will have that already, and then clone it, paste it in next to each other. For example, like if I will have something like that here, then I will paste another one, and then I will group them, and then I can put them under, and then another row, another row.
And is there an easy way, as you create them and clone them across, let's just say you're doing that one row to start with, is there an efficient way to get them all aligned quickly and also evenly spaced quickly?
Yes, you can actually
For
do that. For the coffered ceiling, if you're going to use the create new product, as what had Magda shown, I mean, she created the create new product on the ceiling itself, right? If you wanted everything aligned, you don't have to group them anymore, but instead you can use the ruler or the offset and the line offset to evenly space out the squares so that it would be less time for you instead of copying them and spacing them out. You can actually use the create new product tool for that. Wait, Magda, I'll take over the screen.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could show us that, that'd be cool. I tried to do something similar recently to do like on custom cabinets and kind of the same exact idea. You're almost creating a grid with all these squares that some are pulled out. So I'd love to see how you do this too.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen now?
No.
Yes.
Although for the coffered ceiling, we also have that inside the ceiling designs under building elements, so you can also use this. But since we're under the create new product, so let me double click on the ceiling. Now let's start. So rectangle tool first. There you go. Use the push pull. So let's say that the height is going to be at least 1 foot for it. That's for
Um,
the depth.
can,
And then,
can
yes, go
anyone
ahead.
see Noemi's screen? Because I can't.
Yes, I can see it now. It just showed up.
Okay. All right. So everything is visible?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So for this one, I started with the rectangle tool, gave it a depth of 1 foot. Let me just shift it to inches. And then from there, I can use the offset and line offset as what I've been telling in all of my classes. The line offset serves as your pen tool and ruler in one. Okay, so this is 295. If you wanted to divide this into, let's say, 50 right there. 100. I'll just do a couple. There you go. Then you have, again, 50 right there. So once again, this actually depends on the measurement that you wanted for your covered right there. So once that you've already created these rectangles,
Wait,
you
Noemi, what line offset toggle you just did? What is
offset.
that? And
Mhm.
when you
Oh.
selected that line off, you click that line offset. What did that do?
The line offset, like what I said, it serves as your pen tool and ruler in one. So it's creating individual lines for you. Because as you know, the offset, we only use this offset to copy to copy the shape. And then you can
Ah,
actually give it a measurement on it to ensure that, let's say you wanted it 10 inches for all sides. So you can just type in 10 and it's going to copy that. Now, if it's a circle shape that you have and you use the offset, it's going to copy the same shape and you can actually adjust the sidings of it that it's going to be equally divided.
yeah, I use that one all the time. I didn't know that line offset. That's helpful. Thank you.
Yes.
But
Now,
does that line offset come up every time or only when you're
when you only click on offset and then there's the line offset on the upper left, right
oh,
below undo.
okay, so when you're drawing normally like a wall or something, that line offset tool doesn't come up.
No, it's only under the create new product.
Only under create new product. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So let's go back. So once this is already done, you've already have your squares inside. Now, instead of using the line offset, we'll just be using the offset to give this the exact amount that you needed. So let's say this is going to be, wait, let me just go closer. So 50, we can do 45 for all. Since our squares are at least 50, so you can do 45. I'm clicking on it, and then I'm typing in the measurement.
Can you group that and do that in case there's like hundreds that you have to do?
No, we cannot. Not unless that you wanted to do just one side, and then after which we can go ahead and um, clone it outside the create new product tool. Okay, let me just remove that. So after this, you just need to use the push pull. We know that this is 1 foot, so you can go ahead and give it a depth. Let's say 5. There you have it.
Hmm.
Just make sure that you know the measurements that you're inputting so that you don't get lost, that it's going to be all at the same depth that you have. So there you go. Now, to answer your question, like if there's like 100 that you're saying earlier, what you can do is you can click on done. Now you can click on this and then click on clone, then copy it on the other side. If this is the what you wanted, so that it's going to be more easier for you. Questions?
Is there any way to save the whole completed thing in your library as one
Yes, you
piece?
can. So click on it and then click on control and then click on the other side, group it first. After grouping, you see this add to library on the upper center of the screen. Click on it so that you can actually have this, name it. Let's say ceiling
So sorry,
upload.
how do you group it?
Okay. To group a product, click on the first item first, right? You would see the green line around it, and then press and hold down Control on your keyboard. If you're using
Command if you're
Windows,
using Mac.
but
Command
if you're using Mac, it's Command.
yeah.
So first you hover around it and the green light should come around
Yes,
it.
so I'll
You
click
click
on it
on it.
again. There you go. So you can see the green line around it, right? So this is the first item. And then
Yeah.
press and Control or Command on your keyboard. And then click on the second item. You will be able to see the group products on the center top. And then click on it. So that when you move it, it's going to move as one object.
Sorry,
Clear?
on Mac you said, is it command or
Yes, it's Command. I think it's Command for Mac.
Command, yes, command.
Press and hold it down. Since you were able to add it already to the library, then you just need to go to the My Library on your left side, right below texture. Click on it, and you'll have your ceiling there. Just click on it, then drop it. Then you can go ahead and place it on your designs. That's one good thing that Foyr did, because now we can actually save the items that we're actually doing using the Create New Product. So you can actually use this with all of your projects. And you don't have to do it again and again. All clear?
Okay, we'll try it.
Okay. Yes, please do.
One question on,
Go ahead, go ahead.
so for each of these grids, I'm thinking about a coffered ceiling. Normally on a coffered ceiling, you would not see a seam between each of the squares, right? That would just be one solid piece of wood.
Right.
Could we use the snip tool to cut those lines out before we had finished with the
Okay.
product?
We
Yeah, you
can.
should
So
be
for
able.
this, modify. All right, you can use the trim, and then you can go ahead and cut this out so that it's going to be more seamless.
Yeah, very good.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. All
Sorry,
right.
how did you do that again?
Okay. Let me just go back. So click on the item,
Yeah.
right? And then modify.
Uh-huh.
All right. Once that you're inside modify, you just have to click on trim on the left side, and then just go ahead and cut on those lines that you don't need. Just click on it so that you could actually cut those lines. And then once that you're done, hit on done again so that you'll be able to see that there without the lines in between.
It's the same like you're cutting off the ruler lines. So that works the
Yes.
same.
Yeah, that's where I get stuck. I draw the ruler lines and then I don't know how to trim them.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
with
is
the
the ruler
trimming.
line,
Yeah.
right? Now click on guidelines once again on the upper left. Go to the
Mhm.
center part, which has the word trim. Click on this and then go through those lines. Hover over those lines and then click on it.
So go to guideline.
Guidelines, yes. In guidelines, this is where you will be starting. I mean, you will be using your ruler, right?
Yeah.
After using it and you don't want to use it once again, okay, you can go ahead and go back to guidelines and then click on trim and
Oh,
then just click on that red line.
okay. Okay.
It's not gonna be there anymore. Okay. All right. Questions, please. Any more? Hi, Cindy. So you've built your sofas using modular pieces. Yes, actually, that's the best way to do it. Any more questions or clarifications about this?
Well, it's only when you start using it and doing it that's when the questions come up again.
That is right. If you have those questions, what I would suggest is for you guys to write it down And then
Yeah.
we can always schedule master classes for you so that we could directly answer them from there. If it is
Okay.
something urgent, you can always send us an email or you could use a chat support. I have my direct email as well. So yeah, go ahead and throw us those questions and we'll go ahead and answer them.
Okay.
The
I
chat
have,
support is so good,
I want,
Cindy. If you've not used it before, they are just so they're always there. I feel like 24 hours a
yeah,
day. They'll go
correct,
through your
correct.
project, they'll do stuff for you sometimes. Like that, I have never not had an answer answered with the
Yeah.
chat support.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I wanted to know how to add a step in a shower, because you know how when you're doing bathrooms and
Yes.
the showers, it's not necessarily that the shower can be at the floor level. You have to end up stepping it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know how to do that.
Step up in the shower. So
Mhm.
you can actually use the create new product once again. Use the push
Yeah,
pull, move this up. Like you can I mean you can type in your own measurements. Let's say it's 4 inches.
yeah,
So you can do that.
okay.
Or the other alternative is you can use the shapes inside the catalog that is always under building elements. Click
Mhm.
on shapes. Okay, and then click on geometrics and then use the floor dock solid cube, drag it
Oh,
out, and then you can go ahead and use the resize tool to put in the measurements that you needed for this.
okay. So what was that called? In shapes.
Okay, in shapes, yes. That is right.
The
That
building
is
element.
under building elements. Go to the building elements and then hit on shapes, and then you'll be able to see it under geometrics. Click on it, and then that's the first icon on the right side, the floor dock solid cube. Drag it into your design, and then put in the necessary
Oh,
dimensions for it.
I actually always recommend to go through the geometrics because there's so many shapes that you can use differently. We have like a ceiling docks shapes,
Wall dock.
wall
Hmm.
docks shapes, floor docks shapes, but you can always reuse them. For example, if you have a ceiling one, you can bring it down to the floor. So like, that's no worries. Then you can resize them. So you can create like a different kind of murals or shapes if you want to. So have a scroll and
actually,
see what's in there.
so those that would also be used to make steps.
Yes, you
Yes, you
can.
can. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's always two options for you. It's either you use the create new product if it's just simple steps, or you can actually use the shapes inside the catalog.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Is there a good way? How about cropping tiles on the floor around an island? Julie, what do you mean by this? Cindy, is there a good way to resize stairs from the building products and retain the proportion?
The tiles on the floor, like how you just taught us that you have to put in individually the tiles on the floor.
The tiles from the texture or the tiles inside the catalog?
Uh, I don't know. Because you know how you
Probably,
showed. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Go
probably a
ahead, miss.
catalog, I would say.
From the catalog, let's try to get inside. Tiles. Okay. So if this is, let's find the tile.
I guess the ones that you have to create your own vision
Mhm.
for, the texture, you have to create yourself then on the floor, right?
It
If it's
depends
gonna be
what
on
kind
the
of
floor, you
pattern.
can always use the texture tile inside the texture catalog instead of using the ones that's inside the main catalog for Foyr.
Because in the main catalog, you will probably have like a single tile. Well, you can resize it if you have like the penny tiles. You can resize it, and it can go throughout the surface. But it all depends what kind of pattern you want to get. If you will be happy with any tiles from the texture, then you can just simply resize them and have like some kind of pattern. But it all depends what kind of pattern you want to achieve.
Yes, because it's going to be much easier if it's coming from the texture instead, because you just have to go to tile. All right. Under subcategories, you can click on the tile that you wanted to use. And then once again, it's the same thing. Click on it and then apply it on the floor. If it's too big, then you can go ahead and use the number of tiles under the texture properties on your right side. You can always play with the numbers of the X and the Y's for it so that you could adjust the measurements of these tiles. That's much easier instead of using the tiles inside the catalog because you have to do them one by one.
So this would automatically trim a tile. So if, say, at the end you don't have a full tile left.
Yes,
Would
that is right. So if I'm
Okay.
going to go outside, it's going to end on that specific wall.
And then
Okay.
if you, for example, if you have like two rooms and you want to align them, then you can use the horizontal and vertical offset for that as well.
Mhm.
Or let's say that it's ending at like a half tile and you want a full tile at the end, then you can use the horizontal and vertical offsets.
Okay.
And retain the proportion. So building elements, stairs. Sorry about that. So for your question, Cindy, again, for the proportion of the stairs, I know that there are specific measurements for this. So instead of inputting the measurements using the edit on top, you can try to use the resize icon and see if this is if it's going to be like proportion for each. Because there are some stairs that's going to go big or going to go too small for it. So I guess the best way for you to do this is using the resize icon.
Okay, that's what had happened. I was trying to, oh, excuse me. I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to put stairs like in a two-story, but it was
Mm-hmm.
like what you're showing on your screen. It was like
Mm-hmm.
so many stairs. Like this one on the screen, it's got what about 6 stairs, I think, and then a landing.
Yes.
But how, like, say my landing was 10 stairs, how would I add more stairs to that before the turn? Like, say there was a couple,
Oh, okay.
that's where I was and I tried to tilt it and it looked really strange.
Oh, okay then. As per that, the workaround that we're doing is when you enter the stairs, so you can make your screen bigger, you can use this marble two-step stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put it in
It's just they
here.
won't have the glass balustrade, yeah, so you have to bear
Yes.
that in mind.
So
Yeah.
this one it's either you can move this up and then you can actually put this in. So that if it's gonna be like 10,
Oh,
1,
I
2,
see.
3,
Okay.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you needed another two more. So the same process and then make sure to group it afterwards. So that it's gonna come
Mm-hmm.
out as 10 stairs for you.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
That looks pretty
You can also use
straightforward.
the geometrics to like, if you don't need two at the end, just one, then you can use the geometric shapes and resize it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. I'll practice that. Thank you.
All right, no worries. Yes, any more before we end this session for today?
Yes, you mentioned something about using credits for renders. How does that work? How many credits do we get? And I mean, I haven't reached that stage yet, but I wasn't sure when
If
Do
you,
you
you
go to
happen to know what
dashboard,
your plan is?
yeah,
You
it's the
yeah.
can
premium plan.
It's the premium plan has unlimited renders. But
Oh,
here's a tip for you. Make sure that before you do a render, Monica, make it a habit to use the get preview first to ensure that the angles and everything that is inside is actually 110% perfect before you hit on render.
okay.
So this is it. Take render. Okay. So this is the
And
get
then the,
preview on the bottom center. Okay. Make sure to always use that. Okay. Before you do the render. Once that you're 110% sure that everything is good, then that's the time that you hit on take render, the one beside it. And then you can choose your resolution, right? You can start from high definition, which requires 1 credit. 2K is 2, 4K is 3, and then 12K is 6. For all the premium users, you have unlimited render credits on your account. For standard, it's 2160 for the entire year.
Okay. And I asked for this wall of paneling to be done for me. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I got an email saying it was ready, but then when I log on to my Foyer, I can't find it. I
Okay.
don't know.
Did you
Yeah.
ask that inside, I mean, for the custom models?
Yeah.
Okay. If it's under the custom models, click on the catalog. You can see my screen, right? Scroll down at the bottom where it says My Models.
Mm-hmm.
Click on it and then hit on My Models so that you'll be able to see all of the requested models that you have.
Okay. So it
Okay.
should be. Okay.
My request is actually here, so you can see the requested items that you have. Then you hit on My Models if you wanted to use them. There, then you just simply have to drag it inside. Okay, so any more questions that you wanted to ask? Because, okay, so the next office hour is going to be after the holidays, which is going to be on the 9th of January for 2025. Yeah. So any more questions before we all sign off?
I think we
Thank
have
you.
one
This is
more.
helpful.
Thank you so much. If you guys
Right.
have more questions, please feel free to ask chat support, or you can send me an email directly, or you can book your session, I mean, your master classes, so that we would be able to have a one-on-one session with you all.
Okay. And how many master classes do you get?
Okay, master classes is how we actually say it's unlimited, especially if you're starting with Foyer. In order for us to be able to guide you, me and Magda is going to be doing your master classes.
Okay.
So it's
And
either
if you ever stuck, you will have our email, so you can always contact us and we can, try and schedule another one if you need help with a project or if there's anything that you might have more questions about. And also feel free to check out our YouTube channels. We have like a guide videos there, so that might be helpful for you also.
right,
Okay.
or even in Instagram, you can go ahead and check that one
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
All right then. So happy holidays, everyone. We hope to see
Yeah,
you
happy
again
holiday.
by the 9th of January. Please feel free to ask those questions, and if you can invite your friends still, and maybe we would be able to have more interesting topics for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank
Happy
you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All
Bye.
right.